Hello, everybody. It's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick. How are you today? It is time for another Think Tank Thursday, and I'm so excited to be here with y'all. Let me see if some folks are coming in, and we'll hopefully say hello so that we can make sure we are actually live and that you can see and hear me, which hopefully you can. So Thursday, July 11th, y'all. Oh my gosh, June flew by and July is well on its way, isn't it? Unbelievable, actually. So, how's everyone doing? How was your 4th of July? Was it good? Hi, Miss Sherry. How are you, darling? Can you see and hear me okay, love? I hope that you're able to see and hear me okay. I'm gonna move my computer, maybe, right here. That way I can see. There we go. See comments without looking too far away. We can hear and see. Yay! I'm so excited. That is wonderful. All right, let's take a look here. All right, very good. So, yeah, 4th of July was great. Awesome. I'm so excited to be here with y'all today. I have an idea of something that I want to do, and I know you guys may have seen similar projects on Facebook or Google or wherever, but I had to get my hands into it and make something myself, and so I'm here to get with you guys and let's get started creating a project. Are you guys ready to start doing some creating? All right, let me see here. I'm going to bring in, there we go, bring in my other camera. So I see some other folks are coming in. Be sure to say hello and let me know that you're here. I want to make sure that I say hi to everybody. All right. The country birdhouse is what I'm working with today. So this one is going to be a lot of fun. I really want to do a little 3D treat box. So I know you guys have probably seen it on the internet, and there are a very different variety of different ones, but I want us to create one together, right? So we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm going to let you guys help me decide which type of box we want to do. So this will be a lot of fun, okay? Now, I will be completely honest with you. I have received this Stamp and Die bundle a few weeks ago, but I have not put ink to it at all. And that is unfortunate, isn't it? So I definitely want to make sure, here we go. Definitely want to make sure that I get some ink to it and get some use, because this is an absolutely gorgeous Stamp and Die bundle, isn't it? Hey, Miss Deborah, how are you, darling? So anyway, let me just put my glasses on here so that I can see what I'm doing. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I have the Country Birdhouse Stamp and Die bundle, and let me see if I can't get us just a little bit more space. There we go. You have it, but you've not done anything with it yet either. All right. Well, Miss Debbie, you are in luck, because I haven't done anything with it yet either, and I am really looking forward to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this. And then I have over here beside me the Country Lace Designer Series paper, which is so beautiful, and the Country Woods Designer Series paper. And I've pulled in some cardstock from these colors as well. So I've got some petal pink, early espresso, smoky slate, misty moonlight, basic beige, wild wheat, and basic white. So Sherry says she's made 14 projects with the set because she loves it so much. That is awesome, Sherry. Well done, my friend. So I feel like maybe I should put a post in the Stampin' Chicks group so that you can show pictures to us. That would be a lot of fun. If you're wanting to show pictures, or if you're willing to at least, that would be a lot of fun. Okay, so what I'm thinking is there are several different ways that you can do little gift boxes and things like that. You can make a box or a bag and then decorate the front of it, with the birdhouse and the elements and things like that. You can make the birdhouse a 3D type of project all on its own, where you might use the birdhouse for the front and the back, and then have it sandwiching the box itself. So a lot of different options we have available to us there. And because of that, I thought I would narrow it down. And to start with, and we're getting right out the gate, we're getting busy on this, okay? So right out the gate, I'm thinking for the box itself, let me give you 2 choice options, and then you can comment which one we should do, okay? So the first option is to make a basket of sorts, where the birdhouse would be the front and the back, and we would build the bottom and sides, and it would have an open top like a basket. Okay, that's option number 1. So basket, option number 1. Option number 2 is going to be that we'll make an actual closing type of box. Okay, so this one will be fully enclosed, and then we'll decorate it up as well. Okay, so are we going to make a basket, or are we going to make a box? That is our first choice of the night. All right, and while you guys are deciding that, I'm going to give you just a second, and I'm going to run over here to my ribbon stash because I didn't actually bring any of that out. And I'm going to grab some different ones that coordinate for us, but you guys decide, basket or box, okay? So let me know in the comments, basket or box. All right, here we go. Let's see. Miss Sherry says box. Hi, Miss Laura. How are you, darling? Welcome to Think Tank Thursday. Think Tank Thursday is where we design a project together. So we hang out, we visit. I will give you guys choices, and you will comment which choice you prefer, and always the majority rules. So I'm seeing 1 vote for box, and since I'm not seeing a vote for anything else, we'll go ahead and go forward with the box. So we're using the Country Birdhouse collection, and we're going to be making a box. Now I've got Miss Debbie says box as well. Perfect. And so for the base of the box, I'm going to give you 2 choices, and you can tell me which one you like, okay? Oh, this is your first time watching. Oh, Miss Laura, that's wonderful. Where are you watching from, darling? All right. Your next choice is going to be early espresso for the box or petal pink, okay? Early espresso or petal pink comment in the comments and let me know. Oh, Florida, blazing hot and humid as well, isn't it? Okay, early espresso or petal pink. All right. So let me know in the comments which one we're going to make our box out of. Let me just pull. I'm in East Tennessee, Miss Laura, and it is hot and humid here too, but I know you guys have it worse than we do. So I can only imagine how icky, sticky, and gross it is there. Okay, early espresso, Sherry says, and Debbie says petal pink. All right, so we need a tiebreaker. Early espresso or petal pink for the box base? Which is it going to be, my friends? Early espresso or petal pink? Hello, hello to everybody just coming in. Please say hi. All right, Miss Laura's the tiebreaker, and she says early espresso. Very good. Okay, then. So our box base is going to be early espresso. Now, like I said, I have not used the Stampin' Die bundle yet at all. Now, listen, Mama. She just made another tie. Okay, well, we have a few more people in here, so hopefully we can get a vote. Yes, she is a traitor, and we were right until then. Okay, so we still need a tiebreaker for early espresso or petal pink. Is it going to be another one of those nights, Miss Sherry? Last week, everybody seemed to be voting pretty well the same way. And the week before that, every single question was a 50-50 shot. So we have some more people that are in here watching us. Come on in, folks. Come on in and have a seat. Say hello. And all right, we've got petal pink from Miss Linda. Thank you so much, Miss Linda. All right, there we go. So we have petal pink now, and that's it. I'm done. That's the tiebreaker. We're done. Okay. So we're going to make a box out of this, and I want my box to be not a whole lot bigger than the birdhouse itself. All right, so we're going to do this, and we're going to create totally on the fly. So for those of you who have never been on my Think Tank Thursday lives before, we get together, I come up with a semblance of a project, and then we design it together. I give you guys options and majority rules, and we go from there. So I have no idea. Well, I have a little bit of an idea, but I don't know what this project is going to end up looking like by the end of the night. We'll just design as we go. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You really get a good behind the scenes look at what the design process looks like. So, oh, Kalamazoo. Yes, Bob Seger territory. Absolutely. Okay, so what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and pop off the birdhouse die, because in my mind, the birdhouse die is going to be basically what's telling me the approximate size of our box, right? So I can make my box as wide as the die cut and as tall as the die cut, and that's about it. I don't want it to go any bigger than that, right? I want the birdhouse to be the main focus of the box, but we want the box to have a little substance too. So, all right. So I'm going to set this aside for just a second, and I'm going to stick with the die here. Next choice is coming up. Oh my gosh. Okay. Are we creating a box that has the lid connected, all one box? Or are we creating a box with a base and a lid? So this next question is a one-piece box or a two-piece box. Okay, so leave a comment down below, one-piece box or two-piece box. and we'll get started on that. I have an idea in my mind, and I'll be showing you how I come up with my measurements and things too. So, you know, if you're one of those folks who wonder how do they come up with measurements for that, well, I'm going to give you a good sneak peek tonight. Okay. All right. So Miss Laura says a 2-piece box. All right. Very good. We'll give it just a second for other people to be able to vote, and then the majority will win. Either one is going to be absolutely gorgeous. It's really not going to matter one way or the other, but you guys get to decide. So I've got a 2-piece and a 1-piece. Sherry, are you doing that on purpose? All right, a 1-piece and a 2-piece. So who's going to be our tiebreaker? Mama Betty, what does she say? All right. Yeah, I can definitely tell it's going to be that kind of a night, isn't it? Hello, everybody. Come on in and say hi. Let us know you're here and where you're tuning in from. Okay, I've got 3 people for a 2-piece and Sherry for a 1-piece. Okay, so that's 3 to 4 odds. We're pretty well good there. Okay, now a 2-piece box is actually really, really super simple. So this one's going to be wonderful for you folks who maybe are not as confident in designing your own projects. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so what we need to decide is we need to decide if we're going to make the box as narrow as this section or as wide as the outside section. Okay, so are we doing it narrow or are we doing it wider? So comment down below and let me know that. And I know I'm giving you guys a lot of choices up front, but the box will start coming together, and there won't be a whole lot of choice options going forward as far as that goes. But because it's a box and not just a card, we have a few things that we need to iron out, right? It's not just as simple as that. So are we making a narrow box or are we making a wider box? So comment that down in the comments below. Narrow or wider? The narrow box will be only about as wide as this narrowest part, and the wider box will be about as wide as the outside part. All right, Miss Linda says wider. Very good. And Miss Laura says wider. Okay, right on. We are doing good now. We're good. And Sherry says wide too. Very good. All right, we've got three wide. So we're going to go for the wider one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure the wider part, which is 3 inches. Okay, so you can see there 3 inches. Now, I'm going to make the box approximately 1 inch high, okay? So what I want to do is when I'm getting ready to figure out my measurements and when I'm going to be cutting my paper, I want my base to be the width that I want the box plus the height and the height again because I need it for both sides. Okay, so if I want my box to be 3 inches wide, then I need to cut a 5-inch piece of cardstock to accommodate for the 1 inch on either side that is the depth. Okay, does that make sense? If this were a 5-inch wide box and I wanted it to be 2 inches high, then I would say 5 plus 2 plus 2, and I would have 9 inches for my measurement, right? Okay, so in this case, we have 5 inches for our measurement on the wide. Now, for the height, we're going to do approximately 4 inches. We can go to the edge of it, it would be 4 inches, or we can do 3 3/4. Okay, so let's do 3 3/4. All right, now again, we're going to add an inch for either edge. So if it's 3 3/4, it'll be 5 3/4 total because we need the top and bottom, or the top and bottom sides, to be the same height as the left and right sides. Okay, I hope I haven't lost anybody. So we're 1 inch high on all 4 sides. All right, so we need a 5 by 5 3/4 inch piece of cardstock for one of the pieces. So let me grab my trimmer here. Doing a little math. You didn't know you were going to be doing math tonight, did you? Okay. So 5 by 5 3/4. Now, because we're doing a 2-piece box, we're literally doing both pieces the same size. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to measure 5 3/4 and just cut the whole piece down. And then I will turn and cut at 5 inches. That way I can get both pieces from one sheet of cardstock. All right, so 5 by 5 3/4. Okay, so now we have both of these pieces that are the same size, 5 by 5 3/4. Okay, now then, I am going to show you a little gadget that I have made. This is not my design idea. This was actually Miss Connie Stewart eons ago. But she showed how to make one of these. This is called a shim. And you notice I have put a note that says only use for lids. And what this does is it gives just a little bit of space for your measurements. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Let me grab my scoreboard here. Okay. And for the bottom of the box, I can easily just score at 1 inch all the way around. So 1 inch, 1, 1, and 1. Okay, this is the bottom of the box. Now, I'm going to bring my shim in, and after this live, I'll go back and I will find a link to Miss Connie's video that shows how to do this little shim. Super easy to make. I'll put it down in the comments, and that way you guys can find it and you can make your own, okay? Because this thing is super handy dandy, and it makes these boxes fit like a glove. Now I'm going to knock on wood, because since we are live, there's a very good chance that I'm going to do something wrong. All right, so what the shim does is it hangs on the rail of the scoreboard, and this is actually 2 cardstock paper widths and a window sheet width. So it's just microscopically wider than the edge, okay? And what it's going to do is it's going to actually make your score lines just a tiny, tiny fraction less than 1 inch wide, even though you're still going to score on the 1 inch mark. Okay, so we've got our shim all the way down, and we'll put our paper all the way up to the edge of the shim, and we'll score at 1 inch. Now, you cannot score at 1 inch here and score at 1 inch here. That will not work because the paper is pushed out a little bit. Okay, so just like we did with the bottom, you have to turn it for all 4 sides and put it up to the edge and score at the 1 inch mark. Okay, now we'll see if you can tell. And it may be really, really difficult, but can you see that the score line is just slightly beyond? I mean, just like a fingernail depth beyond that score line. So that's going to help us get a perfectly fit box. All right. Let me do that. Now, this is obviously a very simple and basic box. Let me just make sure I don't want to forget which one's the top and the bottom. This is the top. So we'll go ahead and burnish those lines. Okay. Now with this particular box, the box itself may not be super thrilling because it's just a standard box since it's a 2-piece box here. But we'll do a really cool design and you guys are going to love it. Okay. All right. So there we go. And then you take your snips, and I like to go on the longer side because the tabs will tuck behind the longer edge. And in my opinion, it makes this longer side a little more sturdy. Okay, so the shorter side doesn't really need to be reinforced as much as the longer side. It actually doesn't matter as long as you do it the same on both pieces. Okay, so I'm going to miter a tiny little strip off of each tab, and I need to get all the way to the corner with that one. There we go. And just like this one, and I don't mind saying this petal pink is a little bit harder to see the lines, but that's okay. Here we go. So we'll miter our tabs here. How many of you guys like doing 3D projects? You guys like making bags and boxes and things? I love making 3D projects. It's one of my favorite things ever. Okay, there we go. So now we have the lid done. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the base. So we're going to just miter each of the 4 tabs, just like that. And that's going to take a little of the bulk out of it when you start to assemble it. So that way it's nice and smooth and even when you put it together. Okay, you don't have to do a whole lot. As you can see, I'm just doing little slivers. Okay. There we go. All right, now get you guys out of the way. Go. Look, this is another good use for this ruler. Yay. All right, all gone. Okay, so we have the bottom and the top is over here. I'm going to bring in my multi-purpose liquid glue. Sherry says now that she knows how, she loves to make them. That's awesome, Sherry. I really, really enjoy boxes. Hey, Miss Dawn, how are you, darling? Okay, we're making a box tonight, darn. Okay, I'm going to put some adhesive on each of the 4 tabs. As long as I can get my glue to work. Come on. There we go. Oh, maybe not. I know I haven't left it open this time. It's going to be the shake and shake the bottle, and then it'll come in little bottle. You guys know that one? That's my world. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to put this one right up here. So I've folded the tab under the long side. How's it going, Miss Dawn? Are you doing well today? And that way it's reinforcing the longer side there. And then putting a little bit of glue on the other 2 tabs. Yep, there it is. I knew. Let me grab a tissue. I said that, didn't I? Shake and shake the bottle. None will come and then a lot'll, but we're not going to fret. Do you guys see how much is there? I don't know if it's going to. There we go. There's a lot there, but that's okay because we're just going to spread this around a little bit. And we don't want to leave that much on there because it will ooze out and it will create a hot mess. And Lord knows we do not need a hot mess. So I'm just going to take my tissue and I'm going to brush off just a bit of that so we don't get too much. All right, leave that tissue there for future reference. Oh, you love boxes. That's good, Dawn. I do too. I was just telling the girls that I love 3D projects. All right, here we go. Now then, it's okay with liquid glue especially, and especially when you have an excess of glue on it, to let it sit for just a second to get tacky before you start folding it over and assembling. That way it doesn't try to ooze anywhere. It stays put a little bit better, and that's a good thing, right? All right, so we have that tab in there and this tab here. Now we're not pulling it too tight. We're literally just pulling it to the edge of our corner here. We don't want it to get too snug, and look at that. It's oozing. Ew. There we go. Okay, now we're going to sit this one aside and let that baby dry. And we're going to do the same thing on this one, hopefully without the surplus glue. So now that we've removed the buggery thing, it looks like it's going to go a lot better for us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue up all 4 tabs. This is just what I do because I put just a little bit and I want it to get just a little tacky before I assemble it. Like I had mentioned a minute ago, I really want to be able to not have oozing glue. That is my goal. All right, now, just like we did before, we're going to take those tabs and tuck them behind the long sides and right up to the corners there so that they're not pulling out any farther than the corner, and they're also not leaving a big gap, right? We want an actual nice crisp corner there, okay? And then the other side, come here, friend. There we go. All right, just like that. And then this one. I got glued. Okay, now I believe this one's the lid. It's hard to tell just now, but we're about to find out for sure. Okay, yes, this one is the lid. So just like that, and you see how it just slides without any pressure whatsoever. Okay? There's no pressure. Hey, Tinker Tom, Mr. Sullivan is in the house. He's supposed to be at his fire meeting tonight, but we're in Podunk, Tennessee, and the county fair is going on this week, and all of the guys are skipping their fire meeting tonight so that they can prep their derby cars for the demo derby tomorrow night. So we have our box base here, okay, and you can see just as I had shown you a second ago, it literally slides right in. Beautiful, soft and easy, no bowed insides, no issue whatsoever. So that was a perfect fit, okay? So you can see now why that shim is a really good thing to have, right? Okay, so now the fun part. It's time to start decorating the front of our box, right? Now, I really want to kind of dress this up a little because it is a very simple box style. I want to dress it up, right? So I need your help. I need to know if we're going to do, let's see, let me pick a couple of papers, shall I? All right, maybe we can do, where's that one that I really, really like? So are you like me, and when you get some designer series paper, you have a single pattern that is your absolute favorite, and you want to use it for all the things, but there's only 2 sheets in each one, so what do? You end up with all of this other paper that you don't use. So maybe I shouldn't use this because it is my favorite, but I'm going to have you guys help me out with this, okay? All right, so we have the Country Woods DSP. We've got this nice wood grain. It's very pretty. That one's nice. Okay. And then we also have the Country Lace DSP. So let me set this one aside. Just a second here. All right. And this one, I thought maybe I had two packages. I actually do think I do have two packages. This one's got like denim and really beautiful patterns. You got that nice prints there, really soft and subtle designs. So what I need to know is, are we doing a wood grain trim or are we doing a linen and lace trim? And what I'm talking about is I want to put some DSP on each of the four sides and on the front of the box. Okay. Now, bear in mind that we are going to be putting a birdhouse on there. So maybe we want to use the linen and lace for the box and use the wood grain for the birdhouse, right? So keep that in mind. But are we going to use the wood grain or are we using linen and lace? So you tell me. Let's see here. If I give you some choices, you can pick from there, right? Let's do. We can do this for the birdhouse and this for the box. Or we can do, Miss Laura says linen and lace for the box. Sherry says linen and lace for the box. Okay. So how about we can do that, tone on tone, or the gray, which is really pretty. Okay, or the misty moonlight, which is absolutely gorgeous. All right, are we going to do, and let's do it this way. Let's do petal pink, get out of the way, petal pink, gray, beige, or blue. Petal pink, gray, beige, or blue. There we go. What color do you think we should do the trim on our box? I hope the colors are coming through okay, because on one camera they look good and on the other camera they, I don't know. So I'm hoping that it's just the replay back or the preview. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, Miss Sherry says Misty Moonlight. Hey there, folks. I see some more folks are coming in. Come on in and say hello. We are designing a gift box this evening using the Country Birdhouse Stamp and Die Bundle. And Think Tank Thursday is so much fun because you get to help me design the project. So it's a lot of fun. All right, I've got a gray, I have a beige, and I have a misty moonlight. Oh my dear. All right, yeah, the colors are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we're not going to be able to go wrong no matter what we choose. Right? Mr. Sullivan, are you still in here? Will you pick a color for us? He may not be. He doesn't usually sit in on the lives. He just saw me go live probably and thought he would check in. I doubt he's still here. If he is, I would be very surprised. So we've got petal pink, gray, beige, and misty moonlight. And so far, in fact, I'll just take the petal pink out because so far we've got 1 vote for each of these colors. So, do we have a second vote on any of the color choices there? Here we go. It's a tough decision, isn't it? Misty moonlight, beige, and gray. Or gray, beige, and misty moonlight. All right. Okay, we do have a second for Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one. And one last choice with regard to that, only because it's right here. But do you prefer the stripes or the lace? Stripes or lace? Mom says blue and she didn't know which you picked. Okay, perfect. All right, so are we doing stripes or are we doing lace? This is so much fun, isn't it? I know it takes a minute to do this part, but it'll be okay. Laura says lace. All right. Okay. Lace it is. Very good. All right. Then I will put this piece away. Okay. Now then, our box is 3. Our box is 3 1/8 of an inch on the top. This is because, we did a 1/16 of an inch approximately extra here. So we've got 3 it's like 3 1/16 actually. So we can do 3 inches by should be 3 3/4 inches, and indeed it will be. So 3 by 3 3/4. All right. Now this is somewhat directional paper, so let me take a look here. Kind of want that to be 3 3/4 this way. All right, so we'll do 3 by 3 3/4 for the top. Okay, Mama says lace too. Very good. All right, so there's that. And we can always make it a tiny bit smaller if we want to. I kind of like to see just a little bit of the trim there. So maybe just a fraction less here. Okay. There we go. That's better. I like seeing that little bit of a trim around. I think it just makes it really nice. Okay. And then we know already that the sides are 1 inch. So they're going to be right about 7/8 of an inch. So we have 2 pieces that are 7/8 by the 3 3/4. So they'll go there. Right. So we'll do one more. 7/8 by 3 3/4. Okay. And then this size is 3, but we're going to have to cut it down a little bit. So I'm going to do 7/8 and 7/8. Okay, we got 1 3/4. And then, and that 1 3/4 is 7/8 and 7/8. That's how I got that. And then by 3, just so that we have a bigger little scrap piece here that we might be able to use for something else. Okay, 7/8. Very good. Okay. Alrighty then. Come on, adhesive. What's the temperature where everybody's at right now? I know it's bloody hot all over the country. Do we have any international girls in here today? I'm not sure if we do. All right, let's put this here. I was talking with my friend from Maine the other day, and surprisingly, her temperatures were as bad as ours, and she was saying, "Come get your summer out of my yard." So I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. Wait now. Wait now, I'll get there. Like it to be straight, please. There we go. All right. Now here in East Tennessee, it's what I think 78 degrees is what it was earlier. I'm not seeing what it is right now, but I'm sure it got into the 80s today. Hold on. It was actually really, really hot yesterday, and we're supposed to get crazy hot this weekend. I am not looking forward to the high temperatures. I will be sitting inside with the air conditioning, drinking sweet iced tea, and enjoying the nice cool breeze. I am not really a hot and humid kind of girl. All right. Here we go. I don't want that to be this way. Doesn't really matter, but to me it does. All right. There we go. Oh, it's 85 now. Oops. Well, I've not been outside today because it's hot. I mean, I've been outside to take the dogs out, but only for a few minutes at a time, and then I come back in because it's hot out there. Okay, so we've got our box. We have our box space here, and this is looking absolutely adorable already. I love it. So let's go ahead and move on to our birdhouse and the front design. We have a lot of little pieces here. So we've got our little base that the birdhouse is sitting on. And then we have some elements for the eaves and the roof. Then, of course, we've got our little birds too. So we can do something fun with that. Okay, let's see here. Stamps. What if we were to take this stamp and grab blocks? Here we go. You're going to need one of those big old E-blocks. All right. I don't know why I keep putting all my stamps up there. Oh, it's 68 at Whidbey Island. Oh, darn. Absolutely beautiful. The most perfect temperature, I think, is 68 degrees. I always say I'd love to live in a place that's sunny and 65 all year long. That's not far from the truth. Okay, now I want to use early espresso ink. So let me grab that. I'm going to use early espresso because, you know, this paper is using early espresso, and here's just a little tip for you. Tuxedo black, memento black ink is really stark and bold and in your face. And if you're wanting something that is bold but not so stark, early espresso for a brown base, or basic gray for a gray base, or even Night of Navy is a really good alternative to basic black or memento black, so that you don't have such a stark and harsh lines. So we're going to use early espresso, and let's see here. How do we want to go about? I think that we want to get a paper. So we want one of these wood grains. And this is what we've got for our box so far. So we need to decide, do we want maybe this darker wood grain for the birdhouse? Do we want this kind of worn paint, petal pink and gray for the birdhouse? Or what else? I'm trying to get away from those multicolored stripes because they're very pretty, but we could also do this really dark color or the narrow planks. So there's the gray, we'll call that gray wood grain, dark wood grain, or petal pink wood grain, or natural wood grain. I don't like the natural. Okay, let's do petal pink, dark, or light. Okay, pink, dark, or light. What color are we going to do our birdhouse? There we go. Pink, dark, or light. This is what we're going to cut our birdhouse base out of. Okay, so this design will be right here, and we need to decide pink, dark, or light. That's a tough question because you can do so many cool things and all of them would be a right answer. Okay, so I'll leave that there for just a second and let you guys decide. All right, Sherry says pink. Dawn says light. Okay. So we need someone else to come and vote. We got pink, light, and dark. That'll be for our birdhouse on our box. Here we go. Oh, Miss Laura says pink also. Okay. I believe pink is the winner. Let me get my battery charger here. And Miss Debbie says pink as well. All right then. So pink is going to be the one. And Mama says light. All right. Well, we have 3 pinks and 2 lights anyway. So the pinks still win. So it's okay. All right. Here we go. What I want to do is I want to stamp And I need my Pierce mat because we're dealing with photopolymer paper or photopolymer stamps. And because it's a bigger stamp, I tend to like inking onto the stamp with it face up rather than the other way around. So I've got my stamp laying face up and I'm going to just tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. Okay. And I know I gave it a lot of ink, but that's okay. This is the first time this stamp has been stamped. So, okay. Hold it for just a second. There we go. All right. Okay, now then, I need to run this through the die cut machine also, but I want to trim this little strip off first. So let me just take care of that right quick. There we go. And then, yeah, yay pink, yes. I'm so glad that you like it, Sherry. Okay, there we go. This is a really pretty paper though, honestly. All right, now then, line this up and I'm going to grab the die cut machine. There you go, so you can see. And I'm going to put a piece of washi over it because I don't want it to slip. That would be unfortunate. Okay. All right. Now then, I'm sure I saw in the dies that there was a circle for the hole. Indeed. So we can do that one. And was there a little one too? There is. Okay, but then let's see here. All right, we'll go ahead and cut them out. And if we need to put something behind them, we can. Okay, so let me pull my washi off here. I know I'm kind of talking to myself just a little bit, but that's okay. You guys know sometimes you gotta have some sound advice. So here we go. And I really need to talk myself through all these steps. All I'm doing right now, and I'll show you here in just a second, as long as I can get it to do what I want it to do, I'm just lining up the little circle dies. There we go. To cut out, there we go. To cut out the holes inside the birdhouse. Okay, except I don't want to shift that one around. There we go. All right, and then I'll put this one on here to keep this one in place. All right, there we go. Okay, so now you can see right here, there's a die for the bigger circle and a die for the little circle so that you can cut out both of the circles there. So let's see how we did. I think we did okay. All right, I'm going to try to do this without tearing any paper. Washi is wonderful as long as it's not so strong that it tears your paper, right? Okay. And that one. And then this one. Yay. All right, very good. There we go. Okay. Get those out of the way too. We don't need those just now. All right. So now we have our birdhouse. And, you know, the wonderful thing about these boxes is that we can make this as dimensional as we want because it's not going in an envelope anyway, right? Okay, so we're going to do this right here. And then let's get the other little pieces that we have. So we've got some trim and we've got a little base here. So let's go ahead and get these. And I'm going to put this back in here so I don't forget which spot it goes in. Normally I've got these on a magnetic card, but I have to get some more. So I'm going to have to wait. Okay, and I think we want to do there. I need to know what colors we should do, friends. Okay, so what if we did a let's do a misty moonlight maybe for this. Should we do misty moonlight or early espresso for the base? You tell me. This piece right here, misty moonlight or early espresso? What's it going to be? Okay. And then I'm going to get this piece and this piece and this piece, and we'll go ahead and do all three pieces. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you guys are telling me misty moonlight or early espresso for the base. I want to do petal pink for the ruffle, just because if we're doing a pink box, we might as well do pink on that. Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. Now we've got some agreement. That's perfect. I love it. Early espresso. Very good. Early espresso for the base. That's exactly what I was thinking too. All right, and I'm going to try to do, maybe shouldn't, but I'm going to try to see if I can put several of these through at the same time. So let's see. We have a scrap of early espresso. This kind of thing right here is exactly why I don't throw away very many of my cardstock scraps. I put them back in the bag for moments such as these. Okay, now we can still put some misty moonlight, and I think that we probably should. So do we want a gray roof or a misty moonlight roof? And then whatever we do, we'll do the opposite of this little trim. So are we doing a gray roof or a blue roof? Gray roof or blue? Blah, blah, blah. Gray roof or blue roof? Try saying that out loud 3 times fast. Gray or blue for the roof? And I will find scraps for us to use. All right, there we go. Blue. Okay, very good. So then we're going to do gray for that little skinny trim. Hi, Miss Laura. How are you, darling? That might work. We shall see. Look at this. Okay, crazy scrap right here, right? But I think, come here, guys. On the silicone mat, they don't like to switch too much. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'm going to snip straight across here. Snip. Snip. And snip. And then I'm putting that back in my bag because obviously I can use it for something else. Oh, you just finished your work for the day. Oh, that's wonderful, darling. We are designing this super cute little gift box with the Country Birdhouse collection. Well, the Country Birdhouse stamp and die bundle anyway. And you got here just in time. So we're getting to the designing of the birdhouse part now that we have the box all figured out. And yeah, so let me grab this guy. And of course, I'm going to need my washi tape, because if I have a snowball's chance of getting these pieces cut with such skinny little strips, I'm definitely going to need to put them on with washi. So we'll put that one there, and we'll put this one here. Okay, very good. And this is so totally unnecessary, but I'm telling you, I get bummed out when I see a single little die cut piece being cut out of a great big piece of cardstock. It kills me, y'all. It kills me. So I'm all about being thrifty with my pieces here. All right. Now I've got one more. And this piece. Come on, friends. There we go. Let me turn you this way. And there. And some washi to hold it down. And we shall see if we made a mistake. All right. This is actually pretty fun. I really like the builder type dies where there's all these layers to put together, because there are so many different things that you can do with them. And putting the layers on, even, you have so many options, and you can really make it look as dimensional as you want, which I think is utterly amazing. Okay, let's see how we did. All right, that one did well. Okay, so there's our little gray trim. And the espresso base. Yay, we did good. We did good. All right. And we've got our beautiful petal pink scallops. So stinking cute. And then our misty moonlight roof. Look at how cute that's going to be. I love it. All right. Miss Laura, have you done things with the Country Birdhouse collection? I'm sure you have. All right. This piece is going to glue directly onto this one. You can tell from the way the scallops look right there with that little hanging off part right there, that little eaves, whatever. It's going to glue right there on the top edge for the trim piece. Now, I am really pressing my luck with the glue here. And basically, I'm giving it a tiny squeeze, and I'm waiting for just a little speckle of a dot of glue there. And then I'm going to drag it across the piece here. Oh, now you have to order the bundle. It is so stinking cute. I was just telling everybody that I just got the bundle the other day, and I had not even put any ink to the stamps yet. And so this is the first project that I'm making with it, and it's already so much fun. I am in love with it. Okay, so I want to bring that point up to the edge of the pink there. Okay, just like that. And you can see it goes right to the edge of that little spot. So it gives you a perfect place to glue this little strip on. All right, and so this one will go right here. And then this one is going to go right here on top. Now we're going to glue that piece on first because I think it'll probably just be easier to do that first. And you know what? I think that we should put this on dimensionals, don't you? Because if we pop it on dimensionals, that's going to give it a little more texture and depth. And then we can glue this one straight down and put this one on dimensionals. I think that's what we should do, don't you? All right, let's try that and see how it goes. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on our scallop trim right here. I love old houses that have this scallop trim up along the roof, don't you? I think it is so pretty. There we go. Okay. So there's that. And then let's see here. I kind of want to pull out one of my adhesive foam sheets because this foam is actually thicker than our regular dimensionals, which is really cool because it's like the thickness of 1.5 dimensionals. It's not actually as thick as 2, but it's definitely more thick than 1. So what I want to do is I'm just going to cut a little strip right off the end. These sheets are fabulous for using on big projects, for backgrounds, on little projects, whatever you want. They're especially awesome to stick cardstock on. And then you can stick the cardstock. It's double-sided, so it's got a backing on both sides. You pull one of the backing sheets off and put cardstock down, and you can put the alphabet dies on here and run it through the die cut machine, and you get puffy, thicker type sticker letters. It's really cool. Okay, I want to put this and I'm going to leave just a little, there we go, for something else. That's good. That is good. Here we go. So we'll put a little bit of dimension on this one. And then a little bit of dimension on the other side. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, just like that, our little birdhouse has a bit more interest to it. Okay, there we go. Hold on, I want to bring it up just a tiny, tiny bit more. Just a tiny, tiny bit more. Okay. Don't stick to me, please. There we go. I really wanted to be able to see a bit more of that gray trim right there. So that's why I wanted to adjust it just a little bit. There we go. All right, so now we have our roof that's got a little bit of a pitch and a little bit of dimension to it too. So that's awesome. Okay, now then, do we want to glue the base directly, or do we want to pop it up a little bit too? So we can glue it directly on, or do we want to give it a little bit of dimension as well? I am all about the dimension, I'm just saying. But you guys decide, are we doing dimension or no? Dimension or flat? Okay, well, you guys, oh yeah, Miss Laura's with me. She's like, pop it up, baby. Absolutely. All right. Very good. We will indeed pop it up. So let me see if I can put these back. Oh, yeah, that one's unanimous. Well done, everybody. Okay. I love having magnet sheets instead of these because I really like my dies going back where they need to go. And, you know, that doesn't always happen with the sticker sheet. So let me see here. I have, there it is. I've got a little section I was trying to find a minute ago and I couldn't, that already has some cut off. This is another piece of the sheet that I have left. Now, because these foam adhesive sheets are thicker than regular dimensionals, if you want something to be the same thickness, right, the same depth, you've got to use the same dimension. So either you're using dimensionals or you're using adhesive foam sheets, unless, of course, you're wanting, if you crunch up the cardstock, it will add more dimension. You are absolutely right. Miss Laura is fantastic. She has such incredible ideas, and I love that. Let's see what we do here. And that would be neat because it would give it some texture too, huh? Okay, we can sacrifice one of our dimensionals. It's okay. Not dimensionals, but foam strip. Okay. Shall we roll it up in a ball, Miss Laura? Is that what you're saying? That's so cool. Okay, here we go. I'm so glad. Honestly, folks, I am so glad that I have finally got the hang of this Restream service because holy mackerel, I mean to tell you, I was really riding the struggle bus. It was so awful trying to figure out how to get the sound going and what the problem was and everything else. And it turns out that it's because my phone has two different audio settings. And so I was turning one of them off, but I didn't know that there was another one to turn off. And so I was getting a little bit of that crazy echo and reverb, and it was making me nuts. That is very cool. Okay, so I have just kind of crumpled it up into a ball and played with it a little bit to break down the fibers and give it some texture. And now I'm going to smooth it out just a bit and put dimensionals behind it, and then I'm going to put it on, and that is going to be so stinking cool. All right. While I'm doing this, now is the perfect time to remind everyone that it is bonus days for the entire month of July. And for every $50 you purchase, meaning that if you decided to purchase the Country Birdhouse bundle, you would qualify for $5 bonus bucks coupon code that you'll be able to spend in the month of August. So for every $50 that you purchase throughout the month of July, you will earn a $5 bonus days coupon code to use next month. Now, this has to be within the same purchase. You can't spend $30 today and $20 next week and get a $5 code. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But for every $50 that you put in the same order, you will get $5 bonus bucks. And that is totally cumulative. You can earn as many of them as you want and are able to spend. So, and that's really cool because, you know, you're going to be finding some awesome things that you love and want to purchase this month, and then you're getting free money to spend next month. This is that girl math, right? Like if I spend $50, I get $5 to spend later. So it's like I actually only spent $45. It makes sense to me. Okay, so I'm going to put my little base on here. That is super cute. Love it. Ah, that is so stinking cute. Look at that. I love it. Okay. Now then, I feel like it needs to be popped up a bit, and I feel like we need to put something behind here. So what if we take a little bit of that early espresso, and we just put a little bit of that behind there. Or what would be better, I think. Where did it go? There it is. That darker. Yeah, buddy. That would be better, wouldn't it? Let me see if I have a little piece. I may have a little piece. Not of that. Not there. That blue is kind of neat. That blue is kind of neat. Oh. Yes. Okay. All right. Next question, friends. Are we doing a blue inside? Okay. Look like that. Or are we doing a darker inside? What do you think? Blue inside or darker inside? Blue or dark? Yeah, I agree, Miss Laura. I think the darker one looks really good. The blue is nice, but yes, the darker one makes it look like you're looking inside the birdhouse. All right. Is this wide enough? Indeed. So I'm just going to cut a little scrap off here. All right. And then put a little bit of glue. There we go. There we go. Very nice. All right. Now let me do this. Just a tiny little touch to really stick it down. There we go. All right. Very good. There we go. Okay. Now then, I think we need to put this up on dimensionals, and I think that we should make a belly band. So one of the ways that we can do this is by taking some of our ribbon, and we can do that, or we can make an actual belly band. So decide if we should make a ribbon belly band or if we should make a cardstock belly band, and we can still tie ribbon. I think this one's pretty. I didn't even open this one. There we go. Okay. Oh, that beige is pretty too, actually. Okay, so let me know, are we doing a cardstock belly band or a ribbon belly band? And I shall be right back. All right, I see ribbon. Okay, very good. So we'll do a ribbon belly band. And I think I like the basic beige one better than the vanilla with the pecan there. So we'll do that. Okay, let's see here. Miss Cherry, I know I gave you guys the option, but I may have to. Let's see what we can do here. Let us see what we can do. I know that I can tie the bow and it would close it, but I really kind of want to make it a belly band. Let's see here. We can just tie it on the side. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. All right, and I'm going to leave that tail for just a minute there. Okay, kind of want it to be just a little bit lower. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it goes the way you want it to, and sometimes it don't. All right. Okay, here. Let me put my glasses back on so I can see again. All right. Now, I want to set this aside for just a minute because we need to decorate this little birdhouse. Obviously, the birdhouse is very, very naked, and we don't want a naked birdhouse. So, let's see here. We've got a little bird, and I think having our bird right there would be good. Okay, let's see what we've got for dies. Yes, we have a little bird die, so we can do that. And we have, we've got some little flowers too. We can either stamp like maybe this one and this one, or we've got all of these little cute flowers that we can die cut without the stamp. So I'm thinking that we stamp and color our bird and then just die cut these things, and let's see what we come up with. Okay. Uh-oh. Come on, come on. There we go. That one. That one. Yeah, that might be good. Let's try that first before we start pulling all of them off here. Okay, so I'm going to stamp him first. Let's get a piece of basic white cardstock. Just a little bit here. And I need my Memento ink. Let me see. Give me just a second here. I need to get my Memento ink. All right, there we go. I've got it set out for my class on Saturday and I forgot to grab it. Okay. If I could turn this around, which I don't think I can, and he might disappear before I can do it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it, but Mr. Sullivan is standing in front of the door to the studio, peeking through like this. Oh, silly man. Giving me a hard time. Okay, here we go. Let's stamp the bird. Okay, now we're using Memento ink instead of the early espresso ink that we used for the birdhouse because, there we go, because we're about to use Stampin' Blends markers, and the Memento ink actually stays put better when you're using alcohol markers rather than our dye-based inks. So the formulas are just a little bit different, and Memento is really good about staying in place, so it's not going to bleed and feather out like the regular classic ink pads would. So let's see here. I think maybe I don't want to get too crazy with coloring, but let's do a little of daffodil and maybe where's the misty moonlight? Nope, that's boho. Hold on. Get the misties here. There we go. Misty moonlight, daffodil delight, and we'll see how we go from here. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my dark daffodil delight and I'm going to go just up under the wing on his belly like that. It's a little shady area. Okay. And I also want to do his beak and his feet. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to take the light daffodil delight and I'm going to kind of blend out that dark just a bit up onto his belly. There we go. And I'm leaving a little edge there. It doesn't need to go all the way to the end. Okay. Now I'm going to do the exact opposite. Now, you may be asking me, why did I start with the dark and then go to the light on the belly, and then I'm doing the opposite on the wing? And I don't know that I can really give you a good answer, aside from the fact that with the darker first, it has a little bit more depth of color. This is going to be my answer. I know why. when you do the darker first and then the lighter color, you end up with a little bit more depth of color with the darker ink. If you start with the lighter color first and then add the darker color, it's a softer, smoother transition, so you don't get as much of a depth of ink because the lighter color is saturating the paper to begin with, and the darker color is kind of adding into and fading into it. Whereas if you're doing the darker first, then you're using the lighter to blend it out instead of the darker going over the top of it, if that makes any sense. So I'm using the light Misty Moonlight, and I am going to go over my little bird's tail. And up over his neck. Okay. Go around his little eyes. And just a tiny bit down his chin. Okay. Now I'm going to take the dark and on the bottoms, right here where his wing connects and feathering out to his tail, I'm just going to follow that edge there. Okay. And then a little bit along the bottom of that feather and that one. And then a little tiny bit around the bottom of his beak and his eye. And then I'll bring my light back in and I'm just going to fade it out a little bit. Okay. All right. Now on his wing, I'm going to color his wing in. Okay. And then come in with the darker towards the bottom parts and kind of feather it out. And I'm sticking with the lines on his wing. I'm not really doing anything on my own here that Stampin' Up! Hasn't already done for us. Okay, just like that. And then blend it out. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm going to let him sit for just a second here. All right, I got that. Now we need to figure out some of our flowers and stems. Are you still with me? I hope so. Okay, we're going to do a little bit. Our green will be the wild wheat. Okay, so I want to bring in, there we go, that little stick right there ought to be good. Oh yeah, fabulous. Fabulous. All right, I saw there were some more. How do we feel about the bird, folks? Are you guys good with that? Okay, let me take this. Come on. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. She says, yes, the bird is good. All right. He'll lighten up just a tiny bit once he's dry completely, and that is perfectly fine. Either way, it won't matter too much. Okay, we got that. And let's do some Misty Moonlight and Petal Pink Flowers. Okay, Petal Pink. Misty Moonlight. Okay. Alrighty. Scoot this stuff over and bring in the die cut machine. Come here, paper. You like the bird coloring idea, Sherry? That's good. I'm glad you like it. All right. Now I'm going to do a couple of these because I actually want just a few more of the flowers to give me some choices. So I'll go ahead and cut my stems. And by cutting the scrap paper down just a little bit, I'm able to die cut multiple things at once. So if you're seeing me do that, wondering why am I cutting it down instead of just leaving it the bigger size, it's so that I can do this. I can put all the pieces on at the same time. Okay. Yeah, we've got those. Scrap. That one. Oh, those leaves are pretty. Okay. Ready. Here we go. Now these flowers are really pretty because they've got some nice texture to them so that you can kind of raise them up. So let me see if you can, right there, you see the little pieces there. So that's really neat. And it's in all of them. Now I am going to tape, I'm going to tape my bird because he's been colored. It's not like it can just be die cut anywhere. So I'll put the tape on him to cut him out. Like Sherry says, I don't want to spend all that time coloring something to die cut it and have it slide on me. It'd be a very frustrating thing, wouldn't it? Okay, so we'll do this one and this one, and then this one in blue. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. And I don't need those anymore, so we'll get them out of the way. All righty. All right. Bird is cut and beautiful, I think. Flowers, good to go. Okay. Alrighty. Now then, come here, bird. I'm certain that I want to pop up the house, and I'm also certain that the bird is going to be popped up as well. So let me grab my dimensionals. Here we go. And let's put the house up on dimensionals first. So this will kind of give us a good guesstimation here of what things are going to look like. Okay. There we go. Very nice. All right. And then my bird, I think he needs to be popped up right here on this part. What do you think? And if that's the case, I need to take a tiny little strip of dimensional and put it along his feet. That works better. Okay, and then 2 dimensionals stacked together on his back. Okay. All right. There we go. So now he can go like that. And actually, he may even need a 3rd dimensional behind him because of the crumpled paper. Looks like he might need a 3rd one. And that is A-okay because this is not a card. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Much better. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have this. We have all of these really cute flowers. And just like we did with this, actually, we could crumple up these flowers, but they all have a little bit of lines die cut into them. But you can also use your bone folder and just curl the edges. Okay, so we're going to curl all of these edges. And I don't know how many of these we're going to use just yet, but we'll find out here in a second. All right, so curling the edges. This one, I'm going to come in and push out each of those little pieces as well. I'm going to give it just as much dimension as I possibly can. Another cool thing that you can do is with solid flowers, you can die cut or punch them out. You can even use torn paper, and that's a really cool trick. To use torn paper and just tear little circles and then crumple it up and uncrumple it up. In fact, I can show you that too, but we'll get this done. Okay. We can decide what to use here once we get all these done. Anyway, you can layer crumpled up pieces of paper to make a really pretty flower. And it looks so shabby and rustic and very, very cool. So super nice. Okay, I'm just popping up these pieces like I did with the Misty Moonlight. All right, there we go. And then this little bitty guy, he's got little spots like that too. So remembering the rules of 3, 5, and 7, we need to put, I think, a little cluster of flowers up the side here. Okay, that was kind of where my mind was going with this. There we go. Oh, those little pieces are even more dainty. There we go. Shoo! All right. There we are. Okay. And then we've got a couple more flowers here. Do you put the directions anywhere, Miss Laura says? Miss Laura, actually, I have not put the directions for my projects that I've done on the Think Tank Thursdays yet. However, I keep telling myself, and it's one of those awful procrastination things. I do have a blog, and it's at the Stampin' Chick, THIC, .com. So let me see if I am able to type the link here. You guys can hold me accountable. How's that? I keep saying that I'm going to make my blog post with each of these projects, and I need to. I keep saying I'm going to. So let's make this a commitment to do that. If you go to thestampinchick.com, that is my blog, my website, my hub, if you will. And it actually has blog posts on there. Once upon a time, pre-COVID, during COVID, I was blogging many times a week, generally 5 days a week. And I kind of burned myself out a little bit because that was an awful lot of blogging. And even though I sometimes have a lot to say, when it comes to typing things in a blog format, I have no idea. So it's not really my strong suit per se. But I do like to be able to put the measurements and instructions and things like that. So let's say that I will indeed get this project posted, and you will likely see it on Monday. Okay. Can you guys hold me accountable to Monday? I know Sherry is still sitting in the background, and she's probably laughing right now. But Miss Sherry is one of my downline and one of my local girls, and so she can definitely keep me on cue. Oh, Miss Laura, your punctuation is horrible. I sound a bit hillbilly, but I can generally write and type okay, but I just don't. I get bored so quickly. I'm like, oh my gosh, is it over yet? And I don't mean it to, because obviously a post once it's finished is really handy and fabulous to have. So my attention span is about the size of a toddler sometimes, and that makes it difficult. Okay, so here we go. I have my little flowers, and I'm gonna just kind of lay out a little thing here, okay? And so bear with me a bit, and if you see kind of a layout idea, or nope, I don't like that, a way that you think these might go, please feel free to put it in the comments below, okay? All right, so I'm just going to kind of tinker with it a little bit until I come up with something that resembles anything reasonable, and then we'll glue it down, okay? So I kind of like, oh, that's getting okay. All right, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Okay, so first thing here, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it behind this stem, because that one actually looked pretty good. And we'll do that. So we'll start with that one. So yeah, the I don't want to say tedious, but kind of the time-consuming element of typing out the measurements and step-by-step instructions are not exactly my most favorable activity. I would much rather spend 2 hours on a Facebook and YouTube Live doing the project with you than typing up a blog post, to be perfectly honest. But I do know that I need to at least do blog posts with instructions for these projects, because I know you guys love them, and I'm so thankful that you do. All right. So we have this one. I'm going to put a little dimensional, and do I have a mini? Do I have a mini dimensional? I have a dark one. Let me see if that'll work. That's what I've got with me. So I need to pull out some white ones. These ones, the black ones are a little bit thicker also. If you didn't know that, they seem to be anyways. Maybe that's just me, but there we go. Yeah, that holds perfectly. All right, so there's one, and I feel like this one's probably a twofer. So, Miss Laura, yes, I do need a helper actually. The problem is that my helper, well, you know what? Yes, yes, I just need a helper. I need someone who loves typing out instructions, and then I can just write down the measurements or tell them the measurements and they can type it all up. That would be wonderful. Yes, you are absolutely right. A helper would be fabulous. Okay, so there. I love that right there. So we're going to put that. I'm also going to put the little bird because I realized as he's sliding around that I didn't even stick him down. I just set him there in case we decided that's what we wanted to do. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll stick that there. Now, if this is your first time here, you're probably noticing that this is a really long live, and that's just because we're hanging out and literally designing on the fly. Um, when I do just a regular Facebook Live tutorial or video, it's much, much shorter than this, like 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes. I don't generally take 2 hours to do to teach you a project, but this is literally designing on the fly. So I had absolutely no idea what this project was going to look like when we started. And I really enjoy just the process and visiting with you guys, hanging out with you, getting your feedback, and designing together, right? It's kind of like we're sitting in the craft room together playing, and I really like that. I love the interaction. That's my most favorite part of all of it. So, okay, we got that one little spot there, and I like that. And I think maybe this one on one dimensional would be okay. So let's do that and put it right there. Okay. And then I'm not trying to be so consistent with the pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue. Like, I don't want it to be uniform, but at the same time, that may be the route we're going. Let's see here. Nope, it's not. I lied. Okay. You like it too? Oh, that's wonderful, Laura. I'm so glad that you do. I really do enjoy this. So my Stampin' Studio has only recently been finished and active, for lack of better words, in use. So we did a lot of the work ourselves, and Tinker Tom, Mr. Sullivan, who was in here earlier, did almost all of the work himself, and he is still full-time employed. So, you know, he wasn't able to do a whole lot of work all at once. So it took a while to get the studio done. And, you know, I'll be completely honest with you, in that amount of time, I kind of got like in a weird funk because my old studio was in disarray, and then this studio wasn't ready yet. And so it was really kind of hard to stay on track, right? And to keep motivated and keep doing things. So now that the studio is up and running again, I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. So once upon a time, I was doing a different class every single week, and I was doing a regular weekly Facebook tutorial. I was doing tutorial bundles and retreats, big Stampa stacks and stamp camps and everything. And I was doing it myself because I didn't have a helper. And that was a lot, and it kind of burnt me out a little bit. And so when we were in between the studios, I got the chance to take a breath and relax, and now it's just getting back into the groove of things, you know. So I've really been missing the classes and all of those things, but I just am still working out the getting back into the groove of it business, if that makes sense. So I think I think that is very cute. What do you guys think? Okay, so I've got that now. I'm a little bit of a bling girl, so I think that we need just a little bit. Do we need regular bling, or let's see what else we have here? Um Some of these, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Ooh, we can use one of them too. That'll be great. Sorry, squirrel. All right, the iridescent foil gems, I think, are probably going to be the best bet. The rhinestone basic jewels, the clear ones, are timeless classic, absolutely gorgeous, and they would be spectacular. But they're also kind of overdone, and if we can do something else, maybe we should. So let's just see. And if we don't like it, that's totally okay. We can always go to the clear ones. That would not go wrong. But oh yeah, okay. I like this, girls. I shouldn't say girls. There could be some gentlemen watching, and that would be super cool too. But there we go. I love that. Oh, yeah, I think that's it. All right. So, friends, there we go. Let's go ahead and put one of each of these into the centers there because we can, and why not? Come here. Thank you. OMG. That's so cute. I hope you guys like this. You guys are awesome helping me put this together. And so, just a little reminder that as we are doing Think Tank Thursday, and that it is literally an on the fly, we are designing together and just hanging out. I'm not trying to be in a hurry. So, yeah, it's a couple of hours here. Totally okay. It's not going to offend me if you have to leave or watch the replay and fast forward or whatever you need to do, For those who are able and enjoy hanging out, it's just a lot of fun to be able to hang out together. Hi, Shari. How are you? Oh, thank you very much. I'm so glad that you like it. Okay, now, question, and maybe the last question for us, because I think we're getting pretty well. Okay, two questions. One question, do we want to maybe put a butterfly, like maybe just one of these like bigger butterflies right here on the corner of the birdhouse? Or do we want to put a sentiment? Or are we done? Because that is a very cute box. So I guess that was kind of three questions, but they're all worked in together. So are we going to put a butterfly? Yes or no with a butterfly? Yes, butterfly. No, butterfly. Sentiment or no. We could do the hello friend. That would be adorable. Ah, you're in DC. Wonderful. Now, is that Washington, DC or? Oh, yes. Laura, you got to say. She says yes. Yes. Yes to all of it. Yes to all of it. All right, so we are doing the butterfly. All right, Miss Shari says that too. Now, am I pronouncing that right? I'm so sorry if I'm not. Is it Shari or Sherry? Miss Dawn says yes also. Okay, very good. All right, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, darling, honest. Okay, let's go right about here. Let's see. Or maybe we want to put it with the flowers. Hold on. Are we doing a sentiment? friends? Are we doing a sentiment? Are we doing hello, friend? Washington, D.C. That's wonderful. Okay, sentiment or no sentiment? Butterfly and then done. Buy the flowers, yes, a sentiment. Okay, very good. All right, very good. Wonderful. Okay. So you know what? Let's hang on to this for just a second then, because if we're going to do a little sentiment, let's do, and I definitely don't want to do anything major, so let's just see here. And just like with the birdhouse itself, I think going back to the early espresso is good, or we could do Misty Moonlight. That would be nice. Let's see. Misty Moonlight is in my stack. Hold on. There we go. All right. I have some of my ink pads set aside for my sampler class on Saturday, and it happens, which is so weird that it did, but it just happens that Misty Moonlight and Memento happen to be two of the colors that we're using. So, of course, with a photopolymer stamp, you want to use a Pierce mat or some kind of something there. I will go ahead and stamp it in Misty Moonlight and Espresso, Miss Laura, because I think it'll be tough to see which one might be best. So they're both going to give a really nice look. But let's see. So, hello, friend. And my smushy pad. Come here, Shammy. Okay. Squish, squish, squish. And espresso. I'm going to move it down just a little bit farther. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm going to give that just a quick second to dry. Okay, long enough to find my snips. All right. Okay, now I'm going to trim this down just a bit because it's a small space and it really doesn't need all of that extra white on there. Okay, so we've got something like that. There's that one. Okay, let me bring it down so it's in better view. Come on, camera. There you go. Focus, friend. Okay. And then the early espresso. Okay, so there's Misty Moonlight. And early espresso. So now the question is, Misty Moonlight, espresso, or no sentiment at all? Okay, so you have three options, and this is going to be our last choice before we're finished. So I'm going to kind of tidy up my space right here just a second while you're deciding and deliberating. And we'll see what everybody says. Now, I'm pretty sure that if we do a sentiment, that it'll be popped up just on one dimensional right there. I think that's probably the best way to go. So you guys let me know. What are we doing? Are we doing espresso, misty, or none? Okay, I'll put them like that. It's so hard to see. Let me bring this in. There we go. There we go. Okay. The camera is fabulous. Okay. There we go. Misty Moonlight, espresso, or none at all. Okay. All right. Okay, I see espresso and espresso and espresso. All right. Okay, so we will do espresso. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside for just a minute. I will use, well, I'm putting it aside. I will do something else with it. Okay, so let me see, first of all, let me put this on dimensionals. If I'm going to be putting a sentiment here, okay, let's put, oh, I've got some big black ones. If you're using black ones, it's good to stick with black ones. Again, I feel like they're a little bit thicker than the standard dimensionals, but they are not as thick as the foam adhesive sheets. So tell me how that works. Okay, hello, friend. Let's go right about there. Think that will work. Oh, yeah. All right. Straighten up a bit. Okay. Now then, I need two dimensionals on this side because this one is one and this one is none. So, Laura, you think that the sentiment is a little bit too much? You don't want a sentiment on there? I think that it could really go either way, actually. I think that it was definitely good by itself. And if you were going to be using this project for a birthday gift or something like that, certainly you wouldn't need to put a sentiment at all because you'll likely have a birthday card or something to go along with it, right? Okay, so here's what it will look like. Did I put that far enough in? I did not. Oh dear. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Come on, you can do it. Okay, good. Right up against there is what I meant to do. Okay, so let's vote. Sentiment or no sentiment. Okay, so I'm seeing that some maybe don't like it, some maybe do. What do you think? Too much, not enough? Well, it's definitely enough. There's no concern there. But sentiment or no sentiment, folks. All right, and while you're figuring that, now do it just like that. I'm not going to glue that down yet, though. Okay. All right, I've got 3 for no sentiments. Okay. Now, here's a tip for you. If you adhere something down and you need to take it off, you can give it heck with hot air. And I'm going to take my glasses. There we go. And we don't have a damaged piece. Okay, so there we go. And I can still use this for something else later. So I can take that little backing piece here, and there we go. I can set that aside. All right, so here we go. Let me go ahead and adhere this down. Now that we have decided our design, now this box is actually big enough. Yes, you are absolutely right. You can use Goo Gone too. The only thing I would be cautious about is that Goo Gone may stain your paper, especially cardstock. It may not so much with DSP though, and certainly for other surfaces, Goo Gone is the best stuff ever. I love that stuff. I use Goo Gone to get adhesive off of my Stampin' Blocks all the time. All right, so here we go. I kind of want to move that down just a tiny bit. I know I'm being a little bit persnickety, but it's hanging off the edge a little on the top. If it's going to do that, I kind of want it to be down at the bottom. So let me see, but I can't see. There we go. Beautiful. All right, there we go. Okay, very nice, lovely, gorgeous. Now, what can you put in the box? This box would actually be perfect to make little matching note cards and put inside for a gift, I think, because the box is very, very cute. It's big enough to hold a box of playing cards for sure, a lot of different candies, trinkets and things. It would be a very cute jewelry box. You could put so many cool things in here. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for hanging out with me this evening. Let me just switch my camera here. There we go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening and helping me design this absolutely gorgeous project. I think that we did a pretty good job. So if you like the project, give it a thumbs up or a heart. I would love for you to do that, and share me with your friends. Crafting is always more fun when you're sharing it with friends. Oh, birdseed and gift cards. What great ideas. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. If I don't see or hear from you before the weekend, have a great weekend. And I will see you here again next Thursday for another Think Tank Thursday. And I will indeed post the measurements for this project and the supplies on my blog for Monday. Okay, so hold me to it. All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a wonderful night. Bye.